The untold truth about R. Kelly is far more disturbing than most people realize. This Grammy-winning R&B superstar, who once dominated the charts, has become one of music's most notorious fallen icons. Born Robert Sylvester Kelly in Chicago in 1967, Kelly grew up in poverty before his musical talent provided an escape. By the early 90s, he had transformed into the self-proclaimed Pied Piper of R&B, crafting timeless hits like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition remix that defined an era. At his peak, Kelly had sold over 75 million records worldwide and collaborated with everyone from Michael Jackson to Jay-Z. But behind the smooth vocals and captivating performances lurked a predator hiding in plain sight. What many don't know is that Kelly's abusive behavior began far earlier than most realize. At just 27 years old, he illegally married 15-year-old R&B singer Aaliyah in 1994, using falsified documents to list her age as 18. The marriage was quickly annulled, but it represented just the beginning of a disturbing pattern. The infamous sex tape scandal broke in 2002 when footage allegedly showing Kelly engaging in sexual acts with an underage girl surfaced. Despite facing 21 counts of child pornography, Kelly was acquitted in 2008 after a 6-year legal battle. The key witness and alleged victim refused to testify, and many fans continued supporting him, choosing music over morality. What's truly shocking is how the music industry protected Kelly. Record executives, promoters, and fellow artists remained silent as allegations mounted. Kelly continued touring, releasing albums, and collecting paychecks while his team actively worked to silence accusers. Former assistants have revealed how they helped facilitate Kelly's predatory behavior, arranging meetings with young girls and enforcing strict rules in what victims would later describe as a sex cult. The dam finally broke in 2017 when journalist Jim DeRogatis published an investigative report revealing Kelly was holding several young women against their will in his homes. This sparked the #MuteRKelly movement, with survivors finding courage in numbers. The 2019 documentary Surviving R. Kelly featured heart-wrenching testimonies from dozens of women who described similar patterns of grooming, isolation, and abuse. What many people don't realize is just how calculated Kelly's system was. He specifically targeted vulnerable young women from troubled backgrounds, often approaching them at high schools, malls, and even churches. He positioned himself as a mentor and father figure before gradually introducing sexual demands and controlling behavior. Former victims describe being forced to call him daddy, ask permission to eat or use the bathroom, and face physical punishment for minor infractions. The legal consequences finally caught up to Kelly in 2010, when federal prosecutors in New York and Illinois charged him with racketeering, sex trafficking, and child pornography. In 2022, Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison for his New York convictions, with additional time added for his Illinois crimes. Prosecutors successfully argued that Kelly had operated a criminal enterprise dedicated to recruiting women and girls for sexual exploitation. Perhaps most disturbing is how Kelly's music still generates millions in royalties despite his convictions. While streaming platforms removed his music from official playlists, they didn't delete his catalog completely. Many radio stations continue playing his hits, arguing for separation between the art and artist. This raises profound questions about complicity and accountability in the entertainment industry. Kelly's story also exposes how fame and wealth can create shields against accountability. For decades, his legal team intimidated accusers with non-disclosure agreements and threats of defamation suits. They exploited racial dynamics by painting accusers as opportunists targeting a successful black man. Kelly himself repeatedly portrayed himself as the victim, including in a disastrous 2019 CBS interview with Gayle King, where he stood, shouted, and cried while denying all allegations. Mental health experts point to Kelly's own childhood trauma as contextual, but not excusatory. Kelly revealed in his autobiography that he was sexually abused between ages 7 and 14 by family members. This cycle of abuse, combined with celebrity entitlement and enablers seeking financial gain, created the perfect storm for predatory behavior to flourish unchecked for decades. The R. Kelly case represents a cultural turning point in how we view celebrity misconduct. It took nearly 30 years from the first public allegations for Kelly to face significant consequences, revealing how society often prioritizes talent and entertainment over protecting the vulnerable. The survivor's courage in coming forward, despite intimidation and public scrutiny, ultimately changed this narrative. Their truth finally outweighed the power of celebrity, wealth, and the music that once made R. Kelly untouchable.